Hello and welcome. So given the matrix below, find the inverse matrix. So looking at this thing, all we got to really worry about is a couple of things. First off, we got to make sure that the inverse even exists for this matrix. And how we do that is we take the determinant of the matrix. Well, for this one, it's going to be the product of the main diagonal, so that'll be negative 6 times 9, which will be negative 54. And then you subtract the product of the other diagonal, so subtract the product of 6 times 7, which is 42. Negative 54 minus 42 excuse me, is going to result in 96, negative 96 specifically. Okay, and that is our determinant. Now, how does the determinant tell us whether the inverse exists or not? Well, you look at the determinant and you say, all right, what's the value? Is it 0 or not 0? It is not 0. Negative 96 is not 0, and thus the inverse exists for this matrix. If your determinant equals 0, the inverse does not exist, right? And then you would just essentially put dne, wow, it's the worst dne in my life, dne, right? If instead of negative 96 we had 0, okay? If 0 is there, inverse doesn't exist, okay? But we don't have a 0 determinant, which means the inverse exists. Let's find it. For a 2 by 2 matrix, how the inverse works is that you can always just use the pattern of the following. All right, so the inverse matrix is going to be 1 over your determinant, which is negative 96 in this case, being multiplied to the switch of the numbers between your main diagonal. So negative 6 and 9 switch places. So that would be 9 goes in negative 6's place, negative 6 goes in 9's place. So you switch the places of your main diagonal and you switch the signs of your other diagonal. So positive 6 becomes negative, positive 7 becomes negative, and that's it. That is the inverse matrix, unsimplified, but it is the inverse. Okay, so then all you do is you just bring that scalar through. So we have negative 9 over 96, negative 6 over 96, negative 96. And we have negative 7 over negative 96 and negative 6 over negative 96. Okay, and then it's just a matter of simplifying that down. So negative 9 over 96. Now that number for this is going to actually simplify. 3 is the common number, top and bottom. 3 goes into 9 3 times, so you have negative 9 over, and then 3 goes into 96 32 times. Okay, 7 and 96 have no common numbers, but we know a negative over a negative is a positive, so 796 would be that one. And then likewise, 3 is the common number between 6 and 96, so negative over negative, positive, and then you have 2 30 seconds. And that's the same for the last one because they're the same number. And that is your inverse matrix of A. Totally and absolutely finished. Make sure you simplify all those numbers and then use your matrix tab, input the matrix. Okay, the biggest thing is that you switch the positions of the blue diagonal, switch the signs of the pink diagonal. Okay, and that will always be true for any 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so switch signs, switch places of the blue, switch signs of pink. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for watching.